everybody. Thanks, Louis, for a nice intro. So I'm just coming for a couple minutes just to say hello. A lot of you in the room know me, so hi. I'm wearing purple. Can you believe it? I'm really proud actually to be a part of AVID. This is an exciting time in this company. It's an exciting time in this industry, as you all know, probably even more than me. And I really think that, for me, this really was the right company at the right time. We all know our industry is in major transformation. Louis spoke to some of that. You'll hear more from my colleagues. But to see what this industry is going through, and to see a company like AVID that obviously has to transform also, like all technology suppliers in this industry, but to see what this company has in the way of its footprint in the marketplace and the community that it serves, and the foundation this company has from an innovation and technology, as Louis said, the heritage, this really is, in my mind, the right company at the right time to help in transforming this industry. And I think that really is where the opportunity lies. As Louis said, this industry is waiting for a leader like AVID. They are looking for a supplier to stand up and to help face the pain points this industry is facing and help deliver the right kind of solutions to take us forward successfully. And it really is about collaboration, understanding the market, understanding how we address it. And I really think that AVID is really the company that can stand up and do that. So I'm really delighted to be here. And just want to say again, thank you. Hopefully we'll spend some time together. And really you're here obviously to hear a little bit more from Sean and Chris. But let's start with, I believe, Chris Cahagan, who's going to come up and talk about the product announcements here today. So, Chris?
Thank you very much. And so we've got a few products we want to unveil today. But maybe before we do that, to set the stage, and as Louis was talking about AVID everywhere over the last couple of years in engineering and products, here at AVID we've been trying to design and focus those products on the challenges of our industry. And as Louis was mentioning, there's a huge sea change, and we all know it. More content is being created than ever before. And our customers are lucky if they're getting paid the same, likely less to create that content. And in the midst of that, right, shooting ratios are going up, multi-camera episodes are being shot, multiple cameras are being used, higher resolution cameras are being introduced, and so they're having all of these extra challenges in addition to costs going down. Louis also mentioned the consumerization. It's happening on the other side. All of our customers are also consumers, and they expect to be able to use new modern technologies while at work. Why at home do they get to use cool stuff, and when they go to work they have to use kind of not so cool stuff? So they're expecting that. And our customers are also challenged with the technology evolution. They've got to make technology choices going forward, and what's important to them is to make sure they make the right choice, because making the wrong choice won't allow them to solve the problems of creating more content for less money. And at AVID, as we think about innovation, and we'll talk about that today as we unveil our products and what we're doing here at NAB, we think about it really in three ways. And I think when most people think about innovation, they think about those big game-changing innovations, and AVID's been a part of those. We believe some of the things we'll be talking about today are those innovations. Sometimes they're immediately obvious. Other times it takes time for those innovations to become apparent that they are really technology shift. Customers also expect companies like AVID to continue to innovate on the products they've already delivered. They buy a product one year, they expect that product to continue to grow. We'll talk about those types of innovations today. And another one that's just as important is how vendors package, price, and deliver the products. Right? The market is changing, and so I think we need to also look at those types of changes. So I think you'll see those three types of innovation as we discuss what we're unveiling here this year at NAB. So the first product I want to talk about is Interplay Production 3.0. Interplay has been around for almost 8 years now. Far and above, at 1,400 deployments, we know we are the largest deployed production asset management system in the world. It's used every day to create very complicated workflows, to create some of the most loved content in the world, but it's undergoing the same pressures that the rest of the industry is. More content being created, more content being ingested, so the next generation of Interplay production is coming out. It's a new 64-bit engine underlies this delivery, allowing us to, on a single system, manage tens of millions of assets in production at any point in time, which is critical for our customers as the number of assets grow. The other big innovation, and this really helps us connect interplay everywhere, is that we're moving to a full web-based interface. A couple of years ago, we announced the first phase of that. We'll be talking a little bit more about that with a product called Interplay Central. Interplay Production now participates in that. It's fully web-based. So whether you're sitting inside your production center, inside the firewall, or outside the firewall, the same exact experience is presented to the end user, which is really important. It allows for that modern look and feel, whether it's delivered on a tablet, whether it's delivered on a normal web browser, a laptop, or whatever device. It allows our customers to seamlessly integrate into their production environment. But probably the biggest innovation with Interplay Production is how we're bringing it to market, and really sizing it for those companies that asset management was really a technology they strive for, but even small organizations now, with the amount of content and the complexity of that content, need a system like Interplay Production. So we're introducing two new versions, two new systems, if you will. One for just slightly under $50,000, which includes the Interplay software, plus our storage system, Media Composer, client connections, and all the service and support to deploy that. For slightly larger implementations, Interplay Production, 10 connections, Sphere, which we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, Media Composer, ISIS, and all the service and support. So what we're trying to do is package this in a way and price it in a way that virtually every company out there that creates content can deploy Interplay Production, which we think is very critical. As I mentioned a little bit before, something called Interplay Central. If you turn the clock back to 2 years ago, here at AVID, we announced Interplay Central around our iNews product. And this was a web-based portal that at that time we explained would be moving into our other products. So now Interplay Central supports Interplay Production plus iNews. And if you're a user of both, you now have a single user interface that allows you to create a user experience tailored to whatever your environment happens to be. If you're just a news customer, you still use Interplay Central. The same way, if you're Interplay Production, you use it as an Interplay Production interface. But the key there is the common way to come into AVID tools. And as you expand the tools within AVID that you use, the interface stays the same. The other thing that was important about Interplay Central when we originally developed it was to make sure that the old clients continue to work. So today, if you're an Interplay Production customer and you're using some of our legacy clients, they continue to work when you move to 3.0. Because the other thing that's important in technology change is to allow the customer to make it gradually. Allow the end user to learn the new tools without disrupting the production environment. So that's the other key with Interplay Central. It was true with iNews, and it's true with Interplay Production. It's a technology that allows the customer to continue to use the existing client interfaces while migrating to the new one. So that's the next generation of Interplay Central, which includes Interplay Production. And again, we have a very straightforward pricing scheme and a way for customers to migrate from their existing technology to Interplay Central. The other thing that I mentioned around Interplay Production was Interplay Sphere. And if you were here a year ago, we introduced Interplay Sphere, which is our capability to connect Media Composer and News Cutter into our Interplay Production environment. And essentially what this allows is for customers to now connect Media Composer everywhere, or News Cutter everywhere, whether it's inside the firewall or outside, and at the same time connect Interplay Production. So if you're a user of AVID and you use Interplay Production and Media Composer, and you're used to using that inside of your production facility, to take it and move it anywhere in the world requires no change. Same tools, same interface, allowing the user to do exactly the same thing. And what we're announcing here at NAB 2013 is the full support for Mac as another client into Interplay Sphere, allowing customers to have that flexibility of editing and creating content everywhere, just as they do today within their production infrastructure. And it's very simple. It's a $35,000 option to Interplay Production, and you use the same exact client connections that you would use whether you're inside the firewall are on the road. So very flexible in terms of deployment, and the same flexibility when it comes to licensing. So we're very, very excited about Interplay Sphere and how it really connects the experience everywhere where our customers do their work. The next thing, if we roll the clock back again a year ago, and the whole conversation about multi-platform distribution was really gaining a lot of steam, we announced some professional services around multi-platform distribution, giving our customers the capability to tie the asset they create to the different distribution outlets, whether that be web delivery, web, social, whatever it happens to be, allow that to happen in a much more automated fashion. At that point, it was our professional services organization. Over the last year or so, we've taken that knowledge and actually turned it into a product. And we're naming that product, or we're announcing that product as Interplay Pulse. It's the ability to connect with whether it's iNews or Interplay Production and automate the movement, if you will, of finished assets into any distribution outlet that's important to our customers, and do it in an automated yet controlled way. And then, again, the cool thing about Interplay Pulse, it introduces some user interfaces that are displayed within Interplay Central. So a set of new capabilities are displayed in Interplay Central that allows, for example, a journalist in a newsroom, when they're creating a news story to play to air, also create whatever they need to create, whether it's on the web, whether they want to post something on a Twitter feed about the news story coming up, and then the normal review and approval take place, and then automatically move that content to the appropriate outlet and Interplay Pulse. And the thing that we're very excited about here in helping the industry is we think at a price point that is very, very achievable or appealing to our customers, and so we'll talk a little bit about that. So essentially, for an Interplay environment, it's $8,000. For iNews, it's $2,000, and simply $5,000 for a connector. So if you want to connect to a video distribution platform, there's a charge for that, or to a web CMS. So very, very scalable solution when it comes to deploying. So again, Interplay Pulse, a new product for multi-platform distribution tied into the Interplay family. Again, really helping our customers solve that problem of getting content to the multiple outlets that they have to deliver to today. All right. Media Composer 7. Before I start to explain all the cool stuff that's in Media Composer 7, what I'd like to do is just show you a quick video to introduce Media Composer 7. A never-ending kind of driving force of ours is really committed to the professional. And when, as a development organization, that we started to think about Media Composer 7 a few years ago, we are unwavered in that commitment. However, that is not enough. And the one thing that we knew that we had to address, in addition to delivering the most creative tools in terms of editorial, we had to give our customers the capability to live within this new world of ever-increasing files, ever-increasing frame sizes, shooting ratios. We had to solve that problem. And so the number one objective for Media Composer 7 was to be the absolute best product in file-based workflows to complement our product being absolutely the best in editorial capabilities. And that's the goal we set out to do, and I believe that's the goal that we delivered. And for those of you that know a little bit about Media Composer, prior to 7 know that there was this concept of AVID managed media, or we call it native media. And if you're AVID native media, you got all these very special and powerful media management capabilities, essentially for free. And as an editor, that freed you from all the challenges of dealing where media was, how to use that media, when to use the media in the correct way, and it really freed you. And then we had other media that we called AMA media, that we could edit directly, but really force the customer to manage that media themselves. And so the big change in Media Composer 7 is all media is managed. And it's managed without any transcoding, it's managed without rewrapping. We simply manage it the same way we manage native media in terms of all the rich asset management, freeing the editor from having to worry about their media. And this is really, really important as we move into this next phase of creation, is hiding technology and hiding the sophistication of what happens from the creative people. And this unlocks lots of capabilities. Once we do that, we can start to take tasks and offload those things. So for example, Media Composer 7 delivers background processing, where we can take some of the tasks that normally tied up the editor and tied up the edit suite and move those in the background and allow the user, the editor, to continue to work on the next scene, the next episode, while the existing episode is being processed in the background. The other thing we need to help our users with, for example, are things like audio levels. There's, as countries like the US adopted the Calm Act, how do we do that in an automated way? So there's lots of tools within Media Composer to deal with things on the audio side to help automate that. And so one of the, as you can see, hopefully with, there's a whole set of other features in Media Composer 7 that you can read about in your press kit. We want to get to the next exciting announcement. But I think the key that we want to take away from Media Composer 7 is hiding the complexity that's being introduced and really allowing our customers to be as creative as possible. So that's Media Composer 7. And probably the biggest thing that will be talked about, we believe, is the new price point for Media Composer 7, which is $9.99. We have an edition that ties into Interplay, which is $14.99, but the standard Media Composer today is $9.99 with a Symphony option of $14.99, which takes you to the Symphony product. So we believe allowing everyone, everywhere, to connect to Media Composer on a rich editorial set of tools. And it will be available here before the end of this quarter. The other thing we've been busy working on is Pro Tools. And over the last